In this parable, Jesus makes a comparison between the unjust judge and God. Invites us to compare and contrast the two. I used to be an English teacher, and I studied English literature at university and foreign literature. One of the things we were sometimes asked to do, which I would ask people to do as well, was to compare and contrast certain characters and certain situations. Find out what is similar and what is different, and learn something from that exercise. I think when you look at this parable, there's a lot of things you can compare and contrast and learn from what Jesus is trying to say to us. The contrast, you have an unjust judge who does not fear God nor regard man. In the context, he's probably a Roman appointed judge who didn't care about justice or the people, but was just in the job for the money and the position in society it gave to him. Couldn't be more different than God, who is just and loves and cares for humanity. So what's the comparison? The comparison is in that both of these have people petitioning them, asking them for help from an adversary, an enemy who's troubling them, making their life miserable. And both have power to do something about it. The widow in the story, she's in a bad situation because she has an adversary who is troubling her. And this adversary is making her life a misery, and presumably he's doing something which is actually illegal. And so she comes to the judge and asks her to give her justice for it. Implication of the story is she has a legitimate case. But because the judge doesn't care about justice or the woman, he dismisses her case and tells her to go away. But she keeps coming back, and he again dismisses her case again. Then she comes back again, and he comes back again, and she comes back again. The judge says, "Oh, babe, what's this woman troubling me for? Why don't you just go away and leave me in peace?" And eventually gets so fed up with her coming that he gives her what she wants and delivers her from her enemy. So what's the point of that story? The point of the parable is obviously not to commend the judge, but to commend the woman for her persistence in petitioning him. So the story is telling us that we should continue to petition the Lord, and we should not give up if we don't get an answer straight away. Parable says, how much more will God respond to the persistence of his elect? How much more will God respond to those who come to him in faith, who believe in him? Now, God is just, and he does regard everyone as valuable and precious in his sight. And he cares for his elect are those who have called on the name of the Lord for salvation. And in this story, then, the woman is compared to God's elect. And as I say, there's the difference. God's elect are precious to him, but the judge couldn't care less about the woman. But God does care. Also, another point of comparison is that both have an adversary. God's elect have an adversary, as the woman does.